Montgomery County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
I'm having thoughts.
Okay, so tell me exactly what happened when you say these thoughts.
I've been having them for a long time. I'm from California. I came over here to act on them.
And you said you came from California. Do you know someone down here?
Brett Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court Justice.
And what were you coming to do? Just to hurt yourself and him, or what was going to happen?
Correct.
A judge's home is kind of a unique thing because you wish they could leave their job at the courthouse, but they can't.
A motivated individual willing to do something, there's no law on earth that's going to stop them.
There's a manhunt underway at this hour after a veteran judge was ambushed outside her home, shots fired in her driveway. She did survive. And what they want to know now, was she targeted because of previous cases?
All of them have that avenger mindset. There is some wrong that they're trying to right.
The American people don't want Brett Kavanaugh on the United States Supreme Court.
Whatever it is, they're trying to right that wrong.
This morning, the FBI is searching for the gunman who opened fire on a federal judge's family at their home in New Jersey. Investigators say someone dressed as a FedEx driver arrived at Judge Esther Salas's home last night. Salas's son, Daniel, a freshman in college, opened the door and was immediately shot and killed.
Sometimes it takes something really bad for us to kind of go, okay, let's learn from this. Well, why does it have to take something bad? Why can't we learn ahead of that game?
This is something they never prepared for, but I know people in the marathon industry definitely are doing their job perfectly. I mean, they responded within 15 seconds. You saw everybody coming down here.
This common theme among all the survivors of these incidents is that they didn't deny it. They made their decisions really quickly. They were flexible. They were ahead of the game.
What are you? Are you a hard or soft target?
So if we were to define what the problem is, it would be that the world's changing rapidly and it's becoming more violent. Every year, the statistics are going up, especially with active shooter and active threat, and it's only climbing. If you look back just 5 years ago till today, it's up over 100%. Active shooters are now being stopped by civilians because they almost have to be. Over 50% now are being stopped by civilians. It's not even police officers getting there. The Marshals Service has been around since 1789, and a courthouse in 1789 versus a courthouse today are way two different places. We have to keep adapting. If we can just get to the point where someone understands that they are the most important, integral part of their security, if they understand that they are their own best advocate, and if they're waiting for somebody else to come save them, if and when this incident happens, then they're already way behind the 8 ball. The first step, it would be awareness, right? Because humans interpret the world with our eyes. It only works if we're looking around, if we're interpreting information as it's coming in. 90% of all interpersonal communication between humans is nonverbal. It's how someone moves in space. It's eye contact. It's dress. It's what are they doing with their hands? Are they have a 5 o'clock shadow? Are they smelly? Are they not? All these things, their posture.
Women tend to be very, very, very good at interpreting these things and getting these feelings, right? If I were to say creepy guy, right? I've seen a lot of girls nodding their heads, right? Yeah, so what is that? Ted Bundy said, I knew by the way a woman flicked her hair that would be the person that he was gonna go after. There's a study done in 1981 where they took prisoners and they took people walking down the street. That's all they did was walk down the street. And then they had these criminals say, which one would you pick? 90% of them picked the same person. And the prisoners were 90% effective picking a woman who had already been sexually assaulted. Predator, prey. It's vitally important that we understand how we move in space. This tells a story.
Look at me, just a lazy Pokemon player.
I want us to start looking at this with the situational awareness of like a lion on the Serengeti. When a lion is looking out, it's a predator looking for prey. And it's not looking for the strongest most powerful prey. It's looking for the weakest.
Grady Lewis is a witness and survivor who had an encounter the day before with the suspected mass shooter who took the lives of 10 innocent black people.
I saw him on Friday, the day before, walk out of Tops. And when I saw him walking out of Tops, he looked it out of place. Now looking back on it, I must have felt a really strange energy about him because I questioned him.
Every time we see an active shooter, every single time, just watch the news, you'll see people will always be concerned. They'll say, I knew that guy was gonna do it. I knew this was gonna happen. So what is that? What did they know? How did they know? So what frequency is that human putting off that we can start paying attention to? And then what do we do with that information? There are many levels to being situationally aware. Think of the highest level is the person where you have to act right now. It's almost too late. It's like you have to act now. The second one is more like a focused awareness. It's you're identifying an anomaly, maybe something's standing out. You're like, okay, that's different. Let me pay attention to it more. Then you have something called relaxed awareness, which is where you're just moving about your life. It's very relaxed, but you are aware. More than anything, it's just understanding these dangerous things, kind of trusting your instincts a little bit, and then just kind of making the decision to get away from it, creating space and distance. We can start picking up patterns and clusters of what they're doing, and what it's starting to seem like, or what the data is suggesting, is that what we see internationally with terrorists, we're starting to see here domestically. And it kind of follows along the attack cycle, which starts with a broad selection. That's where this is the person who's up late at night and they're just surfing on the internet. Most of these shooters, they have an avenger mindset. There's some wrong they're trying to right. And it could be race, it could be religion, it could be environmental, it could be politics, it could be whatever. So now they have that. That's their motivation. And so now they've started the process of the broad selection. Once they've kind of selected an area, they're going to start doing what's called surveillance. Surveillance comes in many forms. It could be walking back and forth. It could be in a car. It could be from a distance with a camera. It could be using their iPhone. So all of these times, as they're moving in space around the building, that's times where we can also see them. They're surveilling us, but we can also surveil them. The attack cycle then goes to a specific target. So now they've done their surveillance, they've found a weakness they think they're going to exploit, and now they're going to start trying to dig deeper into that area. So they're going to probably even do more surveillance. Then they're going to do something called a walkthrough. They're going to try to get into this place. They're going to look around. They're going to see where they're comfortable, where the weaknesses are, what are the patterns of life that other people are having.
Good morning, Shannon. How you doing? Good.
And all of this is they're just gaining intel. They're gaining intel on their target. And it also leaves them exposed. If we know what we're looking for, then we can also start using that information to our advantage.
Judicial Security Unit.
Hey Brent, it's Erica. How are you?
Hey Erica, how you doing?
Good. I was calling to report a suspicious person.
Maybe we let somebody know. What do we do with that information? There's no real laws in place that really go over this, but there's at least telling somebody, well, maybe that starts the process.
And then I saw him about a week ago in a gray pickup truck, and I just saw him about 5 minutes ago on the 5th floor of our courthouse.
Okay, what was he wearing?
Maybe we end up looking at the cameras and we can start seeing this person probing doors or something along those lines. So after the attack process goes through the broad selection, target selections, and then it goes into the walkthrough, well, then it's actions on the objective. I think the most important thing a person needs to think about is that they need to be an advocate for their own safety. And what that takes is them taking proactive measures, being situationally aware, looking at the world maybe a little bit differently than they're comfortable with, and just interpreting that information and then knowing what to do with it. So the next step is what's going to happen to us. What happens when a human undergoes stress? Understanding that there's this battle going on within you. Well, the first thing that's going to happen is a neuroepinephrine dump. Your body's gonna get stronger, it's gonna get faster, but there's always a trade-off. And the trade-off in this sense is you're gonna be stronger and faster, but you're also gonna be less cognitive, meaning you're not gonna be as smart.
Shots fired, 428, shots fired. Hey, breathe, deep breath, deep breath.
If you were to be introduced a ton of stress at you, acute stress, and I were to throw you a Rubik's Cube to try to solve, it's gonna be very hard because your body is deciding where to push this blood.
I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I know, deep breath. I wanna hear deep breath.
And everything gets deteriorated once stress hits us. So right now, as we're comfortable sitting around, you probably have a vision that's about 180. But once that stress hits us, then you get something called tunnel vision, where you start getting a very narrow focus. People get something called auditory occlusion, where they can't even hear what's going on. The micro movements become very hard. All your blood leaves these areas and it goes to your large muscle groups because your body is preparing for two main things, and those are fight and flight.
Reloading!
One of the first things humans will do is deny. You will deny what's happening. The first few seconds, which probably seems like an hour, they're denying what's going on. The next is deliberation, which is diagnosing what this problem is, and then what do I do with that information? So the faster we can get to the third step in disaster response, which is the decisive action, which is making that decision.
I mean, I love our chances. You know, it's been...
The person that makes the decision first wins every time. This even goes back to things from World War II with fighter pilots and called the OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, act. The first person that gets there usually wins the day. So if we understand what's going on within us, if we know that our heart rate's gonna go through the roof, if we know our vision's gonna get smaller, if we know we're gonna be less cognitive, if we also know that we're gonna lose the ability to micro move and do all these maybe intricate or complex detailed things, well, if we already know all that stuff's happening, what can we do to get ahead of that? It's combat breathing, it's tactical breathing, the yoga breath. If you watch athletes and they have a moment to spare, what's the first thing they're gonna do? They're gonna take a huge gulp of air and they're gonna try to get that air to go deep within their lungs, and then they're gonna breathe it all out because they need that oxygen to start perfusing all the other organs in their body, especially their brain, to make them more cognitive. Because there is a sweet balance where you can get the benefits of being both stronger and faster, but also you're cognitive. As we're approaching these problems and understanding how to deal with them, we also need to understand that we need to be the winner. I remember being a brand new deputy, being in court, sitting there, watching the prisoner move in space, and I'd be like, man, if he does this, I'm gonna do that. And if he does this, I'm gonna, right? And then I would sit there and I'm always the winner in my own mind, right? So I'm like, man, I'm gonna parkour over the table. I'm gonna, this is Sparta him to the ground. I'm gonna grab him, I'm gonna cuff him, right? And I do all of those things in my mind. What if? As a matter of fact, I've had a fist fight with everybody in the room already. And guess what? I won every time, right? It's a powerful tool. Visualizing and stuff is a very incredible tool. Athletes use it, Olympians use it, pilots use it.
Vertical 5-5.
So mental scripting is just doing it in your mind's eye before you ever have to do it in real life.
Smoke up, push, go. Diamond stinger.
If you use the Blue Angels, for example, these guys are flying planes at hundreds of miles an hour within a foot of each other.
Ground speed.
And you think they're doing this every day? They're not. What they're doing is they're going in rooms together, they're all closing their eyes, and they're mentally scripting what they're doing. So if you just do that even one time, if you're going into a store and you just look around and you see an exit, and you're like, hey, if something happens to me, I'm gonna go this way. You have now mentally scripted that. So if something bad does happen, that's where you're gonna go. What is important now? What's important now can change. It can change in a fraction of a second. What's important now can change from 1 second to the next. What's important now might not be what's important in a couple minutes. So just keep that going through your head. And it's gonna take all of us kind of doing our own part to make this work. Because if we're waiting for police officers to respond and we're waiting for EMS to respond, well, that's 4, 5, 8 minutes, depending on where you're at in the nation. That could be a lifetime in a real threatening incident. So Being your own advocate for your safety is the best thing you can be. And being a critical thinker and resilient are also two key components to getting over those battles within us. So all of these things, although they might appear on the surface to be these extremely complex, hard things, but there's usually a simple solution to all of them. We follow Occam's razor, right? The simplest solution is often the right one. We use something called avoid, deny, defend, which is very similar to run, hide, fight. It's a little bit different in the sense that if someone's running somewhere, well, that means they're reacting to it.
We could go in this door, but there's no way out. Try that door. Go bring the chair. I'm breaking this window.
Whereas avoiding it, well, that's totally different. That's proactive. I can see something coming from 100 feet away and just turn and walk the other way, and I've now avoided this thing by distance, layers, and barriers. Denying access, that's closing doors, that's locking them, that's barricading them. How we barricade them, heavier, more the better, door stops, whatever it is. And the last one is fight. It's you versus them. It's everything you have against everything they have. And you have an absolute right to defend yourself. There is someone in this world that loves you, and you have a right to go back to them. You can defend yourself using anything you want. There are no rules. When it comes down to medicine, it's time is usually going to be your enemy because you're waiting for someone to come and help you.
If you see 24% of all trauma-related deaths are considered preventable. Preventable. The military has it down to about 3%. And if you're on one of those special cool guy teams, they have it less than 1%. And you nailed it. The why is that everybody knows how to do basic medical care. Everybody does.
These simple solutions to the complex problems, which is we go over how to put on a tourniquet, goes into that loop.
Okay.
How to use improvised tourniquets. If you don't have a tourniquet, what you can use as a tourniquet. And then we just break down all the other things that are within the IFAC and how to use them.
Tourniquet we're gonna pack and seal we will have that 24% preventable deaths will go way down just doing these simple tasks.
I'm bleeding! Help! Somebody help!
Have that win principle, which is what's important now. We want you to win, right? So what's important now changes dynamically. If something in the threat changes, well, you have to change with it.
We have to really start thinking about being more self-reliant and being in charge of our own security, at least until a point, right? At least start thinking about this as everywhere I go, I'm gonna start having a plan and start thinking about these things in a different way.
You are a survivor. You have it within you.